Peace, everybody. It's me, Ogun Lumumba. I'm back again with the Black Fathers Academy. And today, I wanted to talk about us as black fathers not allowing our pride to get in the way of our parenting. Because some of us find us in some very special type of situations with our children. And sometimes these situations are by way of because of other family members, of course, by our own actions, by our relationship with the other child's parent, and it could break up communication. It can create resentment from the child to you, or to even you to the child, based on how you perceive the child's behavior. And it becomes a barrier, it becomes a blockage between you and your child being able to really build your relationship. It does not allow you to properly nurture your child, and it's not good for either one of you, especially if you have great intentions as a father and it eats away at you, that you don't have the type of relationship that you want with your child, and if you can identify that your pride is playing a part of it. And so one thing I've noticed for the different fathers is you have fathers that don't want to feel attacked, or most human beings don't want to feel like they are being attacked, and it's really a rough spot if a man or a father feel as though he is being attacked or has been attacked by the other children's parent, and it is something that has passed down to the child. So that could be something, that could be something that's very, very heavy. And like I said, other family members and other people around that relationship can play a role on that. And without proper communication, that situation will not be fixed, right? And sometimes, depending on the situation or what had taken place, it could take years to mend it, right? But it's not about the overnight fix. It's about being in the process of maintenance, of progress going on. That's what we want to see. We want to make sure that progress has taken place and is taking place on a consistent basis, right? Because some of us might have children that are 30, 40 years old, and things that have been going on for 20, 30 years, right? Deep stuff, right? Deep stuff, right? So we want to make sure that, for one, as men, we have to be emotionally stable and emotionally mature to check the pride, to check our pride. Even if you really have assessed the situation truthfully and you feel that you did not do anything wrong that contributed to that outcome, even if you are one of those, fathers that felt as though you put 100% forward and it just still went haywire. Even still, we have to be emotionally mature and emotionally stable to be able to check our pride, because we don't want to assist in the division. That's the thing that we don't want to do. And sometimes we might want to separate ourselves from the children because of dealing with that pain. Sometimes we fear that we might flip out. For some of us, we really might flip out. We fear that the worst can happen based on how we respond. And so sometimes fathers can start to create distance and things like that. And I think with that, I think with that, that's where the division. Not saying that sometimes distance is not required, because at certain points of time in your life and even in your children's life, preferably when they're older rather than when they're younger, unless it's just a very bad relationship that could get violent, then distance, should be used. But I think distance should be used to strategically mend the relationship. Strategically, right? I think it's important to always communicate to your children. So, for one, the responsibility is that you play the role in helping to bring them here. They are part of your offspring. They are a part of you. So I don't care how big they get, whatever. There's a certain assumed role of leadership that you take as a parent. That I am a parent and I'm going to behave and I'm going to think like a parent. And certain things I'm going to control like a parent. Even if your child happens to be an adult, I am still going to lead the way, right? In some shape, form, or fashion, right? Some of us or some people have children that are more mature than their parents, right? That this happens, right? But what I'm saying is when you're trying to mend relationships, when you're trying to mend it, there's a certain role of leadership that you have to have. And what that allows you to kind of do is it's kind of like when your child is young, they 4 years old or something like that, and they want to eat candy or something, and you say no, you can't eat candy. You're gonna eat this dinner right here. These vegetables, this, whatever. This is what you're gonna have. They cry, they kick, scream, and shout. As a parent or a solid parent, is not going to give in to that, and you'll let your child even have that moment, but they're gonna eat that dinner, right? They're gonna eat that dinner, right? But you deal with it even though they kicking, screaming, and shouting. And it's the same thing as if they get older, even though you can't control their behavior to the extent that you could when they were smaller, you can control your posture. So if they got some unpleasant things to say to you, I'm not saying don't speak up for yourself. But what I'm saying is work not to personalize those things, right? And if you personalize it because you feel like there's some truth in it, then maybe you should do some deeper assessment and work. Because some of us as fathers have never had good relationships, and we never will have good relationships with our children because we don't want to see where we're wrong. We don't want to look at where we dropped the ball at, whether it's with the child or the child's parent or both. For some of us, it hurt too much to look at all of those things, right? So we got to assess ourselves in truth. And if we do know that there's places that we've dropped the ball, we got to be able to build a relationship with our children where we can hear them. Hear them. And to be able to take this stuff, sometimes we might don't have the tough skin or not spiritually in the place that allows us to tolerate that type of stuff, right? This is why we need our brotherhoods. I have a video about brotherhood. This is why we need to have a team. We need our power team. Because some of the things that we go through in life, it's not meant for us to just be going and navigating alone. We need our teams, right? So you need other people. And you can have other people involved in this process. Whether that's through therapy, that's something that I highly suggest if you're really wanting to mend a relationship, is to have a neutral third party involved. But anyway, they got to be able to say what they need to say, regardless of how off it might seem to you, right? Because one thing that I've learned, that if you learn to become a good listener, even if what the person is saying is not necessarily true or just not true at all, you can still be able to discern a need as far as what they are looking for, right? And I learned that from when I was married. I'm not married anymore, but that was a valuable lesson when I was married. It's like when I was listening to, my wife at the time, who was my children's mother, and some of the things that was just coming out, some of it just made no sense to me as far as what she was communicating to directly. But when I thought of the background, it's like, oh, this is security. You're looking for security on this level. Oh, you're looking for this. You're looking for that. So I was able to pull out certain things, but I had to be around some other people, other men, to teach me to zone into that and not zone into so much of what's being said, because People have feelings, and we could feel one way one minute and we could feel another. And sometimes when we have not communicated to others about our feelings, sometimes our feelings are not always vetted. They're not gone through a process to say, do you really feel this way? Some people do not go through that process of communicating with other people where they can kind of really hash out what they really feel. We just latch on to sometimes immediately what we think. And not only children do that, adults do that as well, right? And also remember, in this situation, I'm speaking as if your child can be an adult in this picture or a young adult. So we don't want to bring the blockage there. We don't want to bring the blockage there. And if you are carrying a blockage, a barrier, or a grudge with your child because of things that have happened, and you are genuinely interested in fixing it or starting that process of maintenance, you're going to have to, healthy communication is going to have to be a part of the process. Sometimes, it's just, I love you. Sometimes it's saying, I apologize, even if you're not wrong, because you helped bring that child into this world and they came into a certain situation that they were not responsible for, regardless of who was wrong. They, at a certain time of their lives, they were not responsible for a certain arrangement that was placed around them. So, to a degree, they can be like a victim to a degree, even if you were not the one who made things a certain way. But like I said, I think we need to assess that deep and not just assess that in our own minds. I think sometimes some of us need professional help. We need to be around other honest men to help us really make that assessment to see, have we dropped the ball as fathers? But we don't want to allow our pride to get in the way, because pride only is going to do this. Pride is only going to do this. Not saying you shouldn't have your moments where you just need to be to yourself. You need to just think, well, right now I can't deal with my child, because some of us have, some people, children are off the hook, threatening their lives, curse them out, a lot of different things. And if you got some type of dignity about yourself, you do need a cooling period. But you don't want to meet fire with fire. As a parent and having some assumed role of leadership, you still have to show a way of functionality. Still embrace that parental role in the conflict. Still embrace that. And slowly, I believe some situations will be able to get better, but it's a process. It is a process. So maybe later I'll talk more on this, because I believe this topic needs a lot more discussion than what I've given it in the time that I've been recording. But that's like some key highlights that I just wanted to get out to people. So let's be cautious and let's be aware of that. I didn't drop a video last week. I've been very, very busy. Get ready to start the next phase of my day. Y'all have a great day. Please leave your comments. Please like this video if you like it. Subscribe to the channel. If you know anybody that could benefit from this message, please feel free to share it. And also check out my music at IamPoetDeep.com. Be right back at y'all.